Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a sequence of images, basically move up and down based on two buttons. So we have the top button here and the bottom one here, and a sequence of 4 images. So basically you could use this to take a bunch of pages and scroll through them based on mouse input. So let's take a look at what it should look like when you're finished. Sorry. So when you click down, it scrolls down, and when you click up, it scrolls all the way to the top. Okay, so let's get started. So let's create a new Actionscript 3.0 file, and first off, we'll just save this so we can get it started. We don't have to open it up again. Let's call this scrolling 2. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in the image I've already made, and I'll set it right to the top here. And I also want to create 2 buttons. So these are just going to be really simple so that you can see how it works, but feel free to customize them as much as you want. We're going to convert to symbol. We're going to call this one scroll up underscore MC. And we're going to convert the bottom one to a symbol and call it scroll down underscore MC. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is give all your movie clips instance names. So we'll call the sequence of images, we'll call it image underscore MC. And scroll up, we'll call scroll up underscore MC. We'll also call scroll down underscore MC. And make sure you always do it camel case, so the first letter is lowercase, and then if you have any other words, those are uppercase. Okay, so this is all we need to do the visual stuff behind it. So let's call this content. Let's create a new layer. We'll call it actions. Okay, so let's go to actions. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we'll put a stop just in case we end up having multiple frames. But we're going to need to declare variables. So the first set of variables we need are to see if it's at the top or the bottom. And those are just simply Boolean. And set at bottom to Boolean, and we'll set that to false because it's starting off at the very top end, so it's not at the bottom. The next set we need is scroll down. Basically these check and see if you are pressing the button, and if you are, it sets the button to false, true, so this should be false. This is also Boolean, and we'll set that to false as well. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is add our event listeners for both our up and down buttons. So the first thing we need to do is scroll down underscore MC, and we're going to add event listener. And it's a mouse event. It's mouse down, and we'll call it on scroll down. The second thing we're going to do is actually let's do this one first. This is basically to see when mouse up, this part here is to see when you've pressed your this one checks to see if you press the mouse down. This one checks to see when you've released the mouse. The last one we need is an enter frame, so we'll add this to the stage, and it's a event enter frame, and we'll call it scroll down. The next one we need to do is for scroll up, and same thing, mouse down, except on scroll up. Then we'll do it again. Mouse event, mouse up, and off scroll up. And lastly, we need that stage event listener and the enter frame. We'll call it scroll up. Okay. Okay, so now we have all our event listeners set up, so we want to actually make the functions. So just right here, these are our functions. Okay, so the first one we need to do is function on scroll down, and it's type event void, and okay. So in this one, we're going to set is scroll down equal to true, because whenever this function fires, it means the mouse is being pressed down, so we want to know that. So we set that variable equal to true. The second one we have we're going to set is scroll down equal to false, because it's not being pressed anymore. Next we need to sort of animate the image up or down. So we're going to do that through function eScrollDown, and it's eEvent, and it's type void. Okay, so we have to check and see if the button's being pressed and it's also not at the bottom, because if it's at the bottom we don't want to pull it further down. So we do that by adding an if statement, and we want to know is scroll down equal to true, and it's not at the bottom. Next thing we need to add is to actually move the position of the image. So we'll move it 20 for every time it detects that the button has been pressed down. Okay, so then we also need to see when it is at the bottom. So we're going to do that through image underscore MC dot height plus image underscore MC dot Y is less than or equal to 400. 400 is the height of our stage. If your stage wasn't 400, you'd have to change that to whatever the height is. And we're going to set at bottom equal to true. Okay, so these are all the functions for on bottom button. Let's do the ones for top button press. And I'm just going to write these out just so it's a little clearer to understand rather than just copying and paste. So event type void. So we're going to set is scroll up equal to true because it is being pressed. Sorry, this is off. Oops. Off scroll up. Event. And it's void. And then we're going to set it is scroll up equal to false. Okay, so then we have to do our enter frame function again. So e scroll up and e event void. Okay, so once again we need to know if the is scroll up is being pressed, so that means it's true, and if it at top, actually we did it a little differently for this one, so to make it a little simpler I just set it up so that image underscore MC dot Y is less than or equal to 0. Okay. Okay, so we want to set at top equal to false, and we want to set image underscore MC dot Y plus equal to 20, which will move it upwards 20 for every time it's detected. And then we need to do another one to see if it's actually at the top. And if it is, it'll be equal to 0, Y will be equal to 0, and then we'll set at top equal to true, and at bottom equal to false, because it cannot be at the bottom and the top at the same time. Okay, let's try this out. We may get an error, but we can fix it. Okay, it works pretty well already. Perfect. Okay, so that's pretty much how you do it. It's pretty simple.